will go one day, another 15, 20 days, things will get back to normal. We're already getting news about the relaxation that's going to happen from the 20th of April. So we are slowly moving back to normalcy, and things will be back to normal. But when it comes to our careers, when it comes to our dreams, our vision, I think that's important, and we should not lose focus. And this is the only reason we preponed. We preponed our online admission test, and now we are conducting our admission examinations from the comfort of your homes, of your drawing rooms, of your sofas, enjoying with a cup of tea. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are good to go. What we're going to do is we're going to start straight, and we'll go to Dr. Suborno Bose, who's the CEO and chairman of IIHM Hotel School. He's going to come and talk and speak to you about, of course, careers, but then I would want him, to throw light on the dual degree program that we have. And the benefit that the students get. Dr. Bose, if you could come in live and address our students. Give us a moment as you come live, people.
Yeah, very good afternoon to all young listeners. We got around 275 people now, and it's such a great privilege to have all of you with us. On behalf of the entire IIHM Global family, very good afternoon. Welcome to this webinar. This webinar has been planned for the students who want to take hospitality as their career, and we like to give them as much information so that they can have all their doubts cleared. This webinar is not just about information about IIHM, which is Asia's largest hotel school chain with 10 campuses, but also we have got an elite panel of hoteliers with us, right from the area director of the ITC to the area director of the Taj to the multi-cluster hotel vice president of the Marriott to David Foskett, which Mr. Abdullah was saying, one of the legendary person in the culinary world. And he is joining us from London. And also we have got John Wood, who is one of the most celebrated executive chefs in the world, Michelin star. And so we are all looking forward. Yes, Abdullah, going for this, your question about a dual degree which a student in IIHM gets every year. All the students, this is a degree they get from the University of West London, UK. And of course, they get a degree from Indian University, which is IIHM. And so it's a great privilege for our student to earn 2 degrees. And you know what, an international degree is very important, because at some point of time, all of us go abroad, work all over the globe, and the students of the International Institute of Hotel Management want to go international, actually. That's the reason they join IIHM. They don't join IIHM just because they want to be in India, honestly. And this particular degree helps them to get a job anywhere in the world, because this degree is a global degree. This degree is an UK degree. This degree is recognized and respected all over the world. This degree is one of the most famous London university, the University of West London, which is number 2 in the entire UK university guides ranking as a teaching and learning. And it is a top 10 in London. It is within the top 50 university in UK. So it's a very valuable degree. So the students who join IIHM, they get the degree from University of West London, and also they get a degree, Indian degree, either from IIHM or from YCMOU or from Macau if they're studying in the Calcutta campus. So it depends upon which campus you are studying. If you are studying in Ahmedabad, then you get a degree from Baba Saheb Ambedkar University. So you get an Indian degree, UGC in Indian degree. But then more than that, our students actually join us for the last 25 years for the international degree, for the UK degree, because it opens the door and the corridors of the global education and the global employment and the global industry, hospitality industry, where about more than 10,000 of the alumni of IIHM over last 25 years are working all over the world. So they will welcome you, they will help you, they will assist you, and they will make sure that you get a great job. Over, Abdullah.
All right, Professor Foskett, and why don't you share a little bit about Young Chef Olympiad?
Don't come this side. Don't come this side. Well, Young Chef Olympiad, I think everybody knows about it. It is the biggest culinary event in the world. We started 6 years back with just 15 countries, and in 2020, we had over 55 countries. It is one of the biggest Young Chef Olympiad, biggest culinary event anywhere in the world, and is organized by IIHM, and is organized in the 5 cities of India. And the top 55 nations of the world come and take part. Over 25 international judges, including 4 to 6 Michelin star judges, and the chefs, they come as judges. It's a huge, huge event where the entire world actually recognizes this as the biggest culinary event ever. And we are so proud that we are the organizer. And there's a direct benefit that comes to our student because of the MOU which we have signed with all the 60 countries, 55 countries. They get the job anywhere in the world through our network of the 60 countries who are the participant in the Young Chef Olympiad. And also the judges, the mentors who come with the young chefs to participate in the Young Chef Olympiad, they come and teach our student in India. They come and do the practicals. They stay with us for weeks and weeks. And we had at least 20 of them who has come in the last 2 years and taught our students in the different campuses. So Young Chef Olympiad is a jewel in the crown of IIHM. It's one of the biggest culinary event, and not the biggest only, it's also the best. I think once Professor David Foskett will come in as an chairperson of the International Hospitality Council, London, I think he will tell more about Young Chef Olympiad as it's building bridges all over the world, and it's making the world a great place through the platform of the Young Chef Olympiad.
Well, thank you, Dr. Bose, for sharing this lovely insight about Young Chef Olympiad. And we're just having some technical issue with Professor David Foskett to log in. So give us 5 minutes before Professor David Foskett joins in. We've got Mr. Samrat Datta, who is right now joining all the way from Maldives. He's the general manager for Taj Maldives, and he has, been leading Taj Bengal initially, and then he moved to Taj Palace Diplomatic Enclave, New Delhi, changed the fortunes of the hotel, and now he's moved to Taj Maldives. What a lovely place to be in quarantine during this lockdown period, Mr. Datta. Absolutely amazing, and we are so jealous of you sitting here in Delhi, and you are in quarantine in Maldives. Mr. Datta, can we see you?
Hello, Doctor. Yeah, can you see me and hear me?
Yes, Samrat. Such a pleasure to see you, Samrat. Such a pleasure to see you. And welcome to the webinar.
Well, it's a pleasure always to see you, Dr. Bose, and of course Abdullah, to always hear his spirited voice and feel excited. It's nice, really nice to be get in touch again. And as you approached me for this webinar, I also found this as a very interesting opportunity to say hello to both of you. And yeah, very happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Samrat. Thank you so much. We have got an audience of a lot of young people, almost 324 right now with us. Okay. And they would like to know from you more than anything else, the success story of Samrat Datta. How Samrat Datta became Samrat Datta. Little briefly, we really love everyone to hear your success.
So just to put in a nutshell, I can only tell all your students, I understand that these are all the aspirants to become hoteliers.
Also our students.
And their students. So just to tell them that, yes, we all started from the same point, where they are today. That's exactly where it all started from. Way back in 1993, I passed out of the hotel management, and yeah, it's been a long journey, but it's been a very rewarding and a very exciting journey so far. I have worked in several countries across the globe. It's been UAE and Oman, Zambia, now Maldives, and of course a major chunk in India. the largest part of my career with the Taj, and a fantastic journey. I mean, across various cities, of course, India also, all the four corners covered, and some brilliant hotels to have managed, and enjoyed it thoroughly. Of course, as I always mention, that hoteliering is a profession of passion. It has to become a part of your passion, and once that becomes, once you understand how interesting this trade is, you just it doesn't become work any longer. It is more like you're living a dream every day. That's all in a nutshell.
So what has been the most memorable part of your career, where which particular decision or which particular action made you really jump from 10x or 20x, you know?
I think in the so it's a very difficult question to answer. I think I think it's always, progress is always nice when it is stable, and it is going step by step. And I think I have seen it also in my career the same way. And I believe the only thing that has that spells success is great performance, and of course knowledge and the base that you build in learning your trade. And at the end of the day, it is also a lot about managing people, managing a business which is of a very varied nature. It is also a lot about managing events, understanding various nuances of this particular trade. All that comes from experience and learning, and it starts from the hotel management, which starts from where your students are today, and then it continues. Learning is a continuous process, and I think performance spells success.
Lovely. That's super, Mr. Datta. And before, I have a question for you. And this question, I'll ask the question. And before you go to the question, I'll maybe, just ask you a small favor. The question is, on behalf of all these students, lovely students who are watching this, I'll ask this question: what are the overseas opportunity of growth in our industry? So that's the question for you. And before you answer, I just wanted to check with you if there is a window around which we can see the lovely view of Maldives before we go into the question and answer session, if that's possible easily, and you can make us jealous of the lovely view of your window in Maldives.
Yeah, I don't mind. There is only little that I can show you now, because I am actually in my office, and I will turn the this towards the window that I get to see outside, but I'm not very sure how much you can grasp. Actually, the sea is visible from there.
Wow.
And there's a gun, but there's very little that I think you can see, and that's of course our green, beautiful island space outside.
Oh yes, we can see that.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, it's just that little two windows are so enigmatic for us sitting here in Delhi. Any little bit of air or sky of Maldives is so enchanting as always. All right, back to your question about the career opportunities overseas in our industry, growth in our industry.
Yeah, so I think India has been a great training ground for, or rather a base where we have developed great hoteliers from. And over the years, it has been recognized as a very strong country in terms of providing the right kind of people which can do all levels of work. And across the world, I think the Indians and Indian students have a lot of value that they have brought in. And I think over the years, we have been around. We have obviously proved ourselves, and I think that whole trust factor on the manpower from India has been very high in hospitality. So that's a good news. And I think the institutes, the way they're developing over a period of time and generating some great students coming out of these colleges, they obviously stand a good chance to work anywhere in the world, for that matter, and especially in countries where there is a very strong hospitality base. It can be, let's say, the Middle East. It can also be places like where I am in Maldives. It can be also in North American countries where my family lives. Actually, I mean, in Canada and other places, I see a lot of Indian gentry getting opportunities in various in starting positions. It is also very interesting that now, as Indian hotels, we are also spread across the world, and we've got several hotels across the world. And since our main base is in India, you will see a lot of management team that are working in various places, and not only management team, I mean, all levels. We also channelize we obviously channelize our people through our existing hotels in India, and there is a whole lot of relocations that happen from India across to various parts of our hotels in the world. So yeah, I mean, huge opportunities at various levels. It can be starter, it can be mid-level, and it can actually be the senior management level as well. As you can see myself, I mean, I'm managing a hotel which is in Maldives, which is obviously an international destination. And similarly, we have got our colleagues who have managed some finest of hotels of Taj. They are now in the hotels like in what the hotels we have in America, the hotels that we have in UK, hotels across the world. So they are actually originally from India, and they have done extremely well. And I think as and when we are setting these examples, it's becoming more and more easier for students from our country to get this leeway to enter the world scenario. And they are doing extremely well, if I may say so. I can also tell you that initial as starters, we also pick up interns from India, and yes, we go to the famous colleges, the well-known colleges, and we look at the best students, and we bring them for internships also in hotels like us, like one that we are in Maldives, for example. And in one session, we would have at least 5 or 6 of them, and they're doing a 6-month course, and they gain a lot, working in this environment, and then they go back. I always recommend that people should actually create a sound base while they start in India, and then find great opportunities going abroad and attaining higher status.
So, Samrat, I remember a few of our students from IIHM was interning under you in Maldives a few months back, and there was this amazing girl, I remember, Aishika, who was like kind of a rock star there. So how do you find the IIHM students who have interned under you in Maldives? How do you find them, the standard and their performances?
Yeah, so I think I think I find the students. What I find a common strand, if I may pull, I mean, of course, everybody has their own individuality.
Absolutely.
Aishika, for example, that you mentioned, was an extremely outgoing person, and she had this talent of very multifaceted. So you will be surprised that actually on the 31st event, we actually made her the MOC of the event, and she did all the she was, as far as the comparing of the event, she was extremely capable. She had a very good stage presence. And
Abdullah, you are losing your job now.
Yeah, so interesting stuff that we get from individuals with their individual capabilities. But the common strand that I have realized is they are mostly very upfront, and the agility levels are high. And so I think it is the exposure that they receive in event management while they are working, hands-on experience, etc., that they must be getting in the institute, the communication skills that I'm sure you are honing into them. That gives them that extra leverage of being not shy, or they are actually a little smarter in their approach, and therefore it becomes easy to bring them up front, facing the guest faster than maybe a few others.
Yeah, that reminds me of the very famous IIHM tagline, "Don't be shy, say hi," which we kind of teach our students from the year 1, that don't be shy. So every guy who is listening to this, I just want to say that for everybody who joins IIHM, the first mantra given to them on the orientation day is, don't be shy, say hi. So, and that is a result of what Mr. Samrat that just now told about IIHM interns in Maldives who worked under him are just a little more smarter than possibly the others, and it's because of the education, knowledge, and even then they handle during the college at IIHM, possibly the experience which they get. So over to you, Abdullah.
Yep, absolutely. And I think, thank you, Mr. Datta, for sharing this, and all the students who are listening. One very important point that he made is that things are opening up for Indian students all over the world. As I always say, you'll find IIHM students everywhere in the world except 2 places, and one is Arctic and the other is Antarctic, because there are no hotels. Wherever there is a hotel, you'll find IIHM students. All right, thank you, Mr. Datta. And moving over to Mr. Varun Chibbar. Mr. Chibbar is the General Manager for Leela Ambience Gurugram as of now. He joined Leela Convention a year and a half back. He turned around the hotel in 6 months in profitability, and now he's heading and handling the Leela Ambience Gurugram. He's smart, dashing, lot of passion and energy, and he's the John Abraham of hospitality industry. Mr. Chibber, where are you? There you are.
Hello, Abdullah. Dr. Bose, how are you?
Hello, hello. Such a pleasure to see you, Varun. Such a pleasure.
Thank you, Abdullah. First of all, I think I'm not sure being the John Abraham is a compliment or not. I think students will decide that. And nevertheless, I think, thank you for this platform. Thank you for, making the best use that we can of 4 p.m. on a Saturday evening when we are in lockdown, which is meeting and engaging with budding hoteliers, people who will change the dimension of how hospitality is executed in times to come.
Absolutely. And if I can just, if I can just add on that, I'm not sure whether Abdullah knows about it, that you are a very keen sportsman, and that is one spirit that keeps you going. And I remember once you said that when I play for my team in the hotel, I'm the opening batsman, I'm the opening bowler, and I failed in a short leg.
and that is not because I'm the general manager. I really deserve. I'm good at bowling, I'm good at batting, and I'm a sharp fielder. Yes. So, for youngsters, they may be feeling just because he's a general manager, he imposes himself. Yes. But wait till you see me bat.
Yes, absolutely. Pleasure to see you. And thank you very much for joining us in this webinar. And over to Abdullah for your question. You can shoot.
Yes, Mr. Chibber, you've been a very disciplined person. And of course, as I know you as a friend and as a colleague and as a hospitality professional as well, your discipline is talked about in the industry. So of course, I'll put this question to you as how much important is discipline in life and where it can take us? And the nation wants to know, Mr. Chibber.
Thank you. So I think, we all know this. We have learned this from the time we were younger, is that a little bit of discipline can make you do a little bit of great things. Good amount of discipline can make you do good amount of great things. And great amount of discipline can make you do great amount of things. Now, I think one of the most important things about discipline is that discipline is perceived as boring. People think people who wake up at 5, have tea at 6, go for a walk at 6:30, have breakfast at 8, then go to work at 9, they are disciplined. I think that is not necessarily the modern interpretation of discipline. I think modern interpretation of discipline is largely a disciplined mind. It is about what do I wake up to achieve, and when I go to bed, how has my scale moved? What have I achieved today? Through my own body language, my own actions, my own drive, how am I able to influence my team? I mean, for example, I have 850 team members working in my hotel. When they see their leader who's committed, who's time-bound, who's specific, who measures things, and does not necessarily bring about just personas, personalities, I like it, I don't like it, but actually puts measure over emotion, I think that is what modern discipline is about. Modern discipline is about what we can deliver and how do we measure it so that any gap that we have can be filled with excellence. We all know that, Indian armed forces are amongst the best in the world. And I think some of the youngsters here, may or may not know, but they are deeply respected as a unit all over the world. A lot of peacekeeping ambitions of United Nations are fueled by the Indian soldier. And the reason for that is that they bring in great amount of discipline, interpersonal skill, a human angle, because we come from an emerging country, so we understand challenges of people at the grassroots. I bring this point in because I want to share with you, Indian hoteliers are no different. Indian hoteliers come from mid-scale families where, people wait for Diwali to buy shoes. People get 2 sets of shoes for the school. You get 1 school bag in a year and you make the most out of it. So you extract the last ounce of value from the commodities you keep. And hence they know how to generate value from everything. Samrat, who was, talking earlier and is a dear friend, One of the reasons he's so successful is because of his humility and his discipline. I am yet to meet a dynamic leader, including you, Dr. Bose, who is not disciplined. But I just want to reiterate this point with the younger generation, that don't think discipline in the conservative way of Oxford meaning of discipline. Discipline is a mental trait of being able to follow something, achieve it, and celebrate it. And if you are with Dr. Bose, celebrations are on the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just miss our time in Calcutta. And I don't know whether Atul is with us, joined with us or not. But then what great time we had in Calcutta together with you, Samrat, Atul, and everyone else in that lovely, lovely time. And so thank you very much for joining here. But then before you go, I have got a question for you. Basically, if because we have got around 320 plus people and plus another 500 on the YouTube live right now, what would be your 3 top advice to the youngster who are looking to join the hospitality management, whether it's IIHM or wherever, doesn't matter, as a career, and especially at a time when things are a little tough?
Right. Actually, I feel that, I envy these kids, because I think they are at a great time wanting to join hotels, because by the time they're ripe, which is few years from now, they would be entering a new hotel world altogether, which would be ready to welcome them. I mean, imagine, the people who are graduating this year or graduating next year, they would have a lot more speculations in their mind, but these are kids who are going to join the most incredible, modern, never seen era of hotels. So that is one point. On your question, Dr. Bose, specific question on 3 things. And I think these 3 things are no different from what I would say worked for me. I know it also worked for you and Abdullah, because there are generic things that make you, in general, what society claims to be successful. First is, I think we must definitely learn, and I think Samrat touched upon this, was enjoy the journey. Hoteliering is a journey where you will have a door, you will swing this door, enter the kitchen, talk to your kami, maybe in Hindi or in a colloquial language, will pick up that plate, swing the door, go out and put that plate in front of Bill Clinton or Mr. Barack Obama. All will happen within 20 seconds. Nowhere else on the planet can you swing the door into different realities like hotels. So enjoying these moments is so important. So enjoy the journey. Don't be in a rush. Trust me, when you are my age, I'm now 40. When you will look back, and I've done hotels now for 20 years, it would not matter what you were doing when you were 21, what were you doing when you were 23. What would matter is that when you get together and talk about these things, are you able to laugh, enjoy, and celebrate this? So competition is a good thing. To have aspiration of beating others is a good thing. But all of this can also be done through collective success, because hoteliering is about team sport. This is a team of soccer, cricket, even F1. You may have a guy who's driving the car, but there's a crew of 300 people who makes him successful.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
So the first thing is enjoy the journey. Second thing is, like I always say, even when you become a general manager, vice president, cluster head, stay a student. Learn something new every day. And trust me, when I meet younger people, students from colleges, my younger associates, my deputies, I'm always listening to them, that what can I learn from them?
Yeah.
So stay a student. Staying a student is a great thing. And third is, always celebrate small wins. When you celebrate something, you tank up your fuel tank. It prepares you for tomorrow. There is no point achieving numerous things and not celebrating them. So guys, hotels will really teach you how to celebrate life.
Fantastic, Varun, in your own imitable style. You have not changed a bit ever since I met you last in person. And I love your enthusiasm and your passion is all over the place, you know. So thanks for joining us, and
Thank you.
look forward to see you in not so
good
distant
luck to
future.
all the youngsters, and good luck to both of you.
Thank you so much, Varun. Thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shibbar. I think you gave a lovely example. You summed it up right in 20 seconds. Hospitality is a line where in 20 seconds, swing the door, you speak to somebody in your colloquial language or in your Hindi or English or whatever language, and swing a door back, and there you serve Mr. Barack Obama. I think that's exactly what hospitality is now. Before we move forward, I think we've got the legend with us, joined live from London. He is Professor David Foskett, MBE, and as we call it, member of the British Empire. He is the author of the Practical Cookery book. Around the world, ladies and gentlemen, all hospitality students who are studying hospitality are reading this book. His books are sold in 140 countries and have been translated into Russian, Spanish, and Welsh languages. A lot of Michelin star chefs that you read about in Google have been his students. Trust me, the first time I spoke to Professor David Foskett was after about 16 years of my career when I started working. That was the first time I had an opportunity to see him live and handshake with him and meet him. And he's such a lovely personality. And you guys are so lucky that at this point in time, just at the entrance gate of hospitality, you're here to hear him. He's a legend, and all Michelin star chefs are his students live from London. Professor David Foskett, it's an honor to have you and for you to join all the way from London with us. Professor Foskett.
Yeah, well, thank you for that introduction. I think that I am honoured to speak to you all this morning from London. We live in unprecedented times, but that does not deter the future, because the future is bright. The future, I always say, is IIHM hospitality, because hospitality is a wonderful career. And it's a career that gives you a passport to work anywhere in the world, because the world will open up again. The world depends on tourism and hospitality. It's absolutely crucial. You will always work. And in hospitality, it's part of your DNA. Because in India, there is a natural DNA in your culture to be hospitable. It's very much in the culture that the hospitality industry wants to engage in. And you are very special to have this privilege of being hospitable, naturally hospitable. And there are many countries throughout the world that have to learn to be hospitable. But in India, you are naturally hospitable because it's part of your culture. And that is why many companies throughout the world will want to employ you. And with the education and with the knowledge and listen to your tutors, you are in a unique position to conquer the world of hospitality. Yes, we live in challenging times, but we've always had challenging times. We've had 2 world wars and we got through them. We've got through problems before. What you must do is be positive, have faith, and say, we will get through this, and the future is bright. If you're young, if you're enthusiastic, if you're motivated, if you have self-belief, and that's important, self-belief, you will get to where you want to be. You have to have confidence, but not overconfidence. You have to have knowledge, you have to have empathy, and most importantly, it is your natural hospitality culture that will bring you through and get you the jobs in future. To be human is to be hospitable, but to be Indian, it is to be super hospitable. And that is why so many companies, corporate companies throughout the world want to employ you, because you have that natural ability. Rather like the Italians, they have natural ability to hospitality. But in other parts of the world, for example, I was in Lithuania a couple of years ago, and Lithuania was so cold, so unhospitable. And I said, why don't you ever smile? And they said, we've got nothing to smile about. We were under the Russians for so many years. So I said, but you're not now. You must learn to be more hospitable. But it's not in their DNA. It's not in their culture. Whereas in India, it's very much, as soon as I get off the plane in India, you can feel the spirit. You can feel the culture of hospitality. And IIHM epitomizes the culture of hospitality, the spirit of hospitality, and the opportunities that you all have to go great places with hospitality, to access the best careers in hospitality. So it's very important for you to be positive, to say, believe in yourself, and say, I will conquer this, I will get through. And I'm very fortunate that I am at IIHM. And what you must do occasionally is give yourself a big pat on the back and say, well done me for choosing the right college and the right career. That's important. And you'll never look back. Believe you me, you never look back. And when I was your age and sat in a classroom, like you're sitting in a classroom, sitting at home, I never believed in my wildest dreams I would ever get to where I am today. I would never believed I would have traveled the world. I would never believe that I would have met the Queen so many times, members of the royal family, walked into front gates of Buckingham Palace. No other career would have given me that pleasure. No other career would have given me that satisfaction that I have today. And I want to pass that on to you, because the youth, and you are the youth, are our future. You will change the world, and the world will change with your positive attitude, with your hospitality, with your culture. You can conquer the hospitality industry and get to the top. So please, please follow that and have self-belief and say to yourself, the future's bright, the future's IIHM, and give yourself a big pat on the back. Well done.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely thought, Professor Foskett. And just for everybody's information, let you know that in 1970s, hospitality was not a degree; it was just a diploma course. And it was at that time when Professor Foskett led this change in London. And it was only because of him that today hospitality has been converted from a diploma to a degree. And you know, he's got so much of vision, Professor Foskett. With this vision that you have and what you see, a small question to you will be as to, you know, what will be the hospitality scenario post COVID-19? What's your understanding of the industry, of our industry, after all this gets over?
Well, the two things. First of all, there will be a slow move after lockdown, but we will bounce back. The world will bounce back. It's bounced back before, it will. What you must understand also is that people have an insatiable appetite to travel the world. People want to travel. People want to go and see and explore places, and fascinating places like India. So people have that appetite. So that's not going to go away. And I think it will be slow at first, but it will recover. There will be a vaccine. There will be a vaccine in the next maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, but Oxford University say they will have a vaccine by September. Let's hope so, let's pray. But I think that it will open up. I think restaurants initially will be slightly different. I think the tables will have to be not so close together. There will have to be better hand washing facilities. There will have to be better sanitizing in future in restaurants. But I'm very optimistic because it will bounce back. You know, the human race is strong. The human race today is united like it's never been united before in trying to solve this problem. And it will. I think one thing that will happen also is there will be less business conferences when you can, you know, where you won't need to travel the world. You can do a lot of things on Zoom. But there's no doubt about it. The world will open up because the human being has an insatiable appetite for travel, for hospitality. We naturally want hospitality. We naturally want people to care for us, to look after us. That's the fundamental of hospitality. Does that answer the question?
That's right, Professor Foskett. It was absolutely lovely to listen to you today, and such an honor for all of us for you to join us all the way from London, out of your busy schedule, to share your thoughts to the youngsters, aspiring guys in hospitality industry. Thank you so very much for joining in, Professor Foskett, all the way from London. So that was Professor David Foskett talking to us. And next is a legend in himself, General Manager for JW Marriott Pune, Mr. Giri Sehgal. With 23 years under the belt, he's traveled all over the world, from USA to Bahamas to Canada to Maldives, UAE, India, and now he's here in this forum to share with you about the three most important attributes that an aspirant should have in the hospitality industry. Mr. Giri Sehgal.
Well, thank you once again. It's wonderful to listen to the industry stalwarts. Quite a few of them are known to me, have been my ex-colleagues as well. So that's wonderful opportunity for IIHM giving us an opportunity to connect back. Thank you for having me here, and getting to speak to the aspirants for our hospitality industry. So congratulations to all of you all, and I think this is the first step when we speak about what is required of a talent. I think that's the first step, that you've signed up. You're interested in this program. You've taken the time out, and I'm sure you're making notes and connecting with all the new industry professionals whom you're getting in touch with as well. So thank you, Abdullah, for the introduction. I think obviously I wouldn't say primarily for our industry, but these are certain skills which are very paramount, and they become even more important for a hospitality industry, because we are a very people's industry. So it's very, very important that as a person you enjoy meeting and talking to people, and you enjoy bringing happiness to the people whom you interact with as well, whether it is your own colleagues in future or the guests as well. I think it's given me immense joy to work in this particular place as well, because it gives you a purpose apart from just doing a job. You can possibly be in any other organization, and you could be a very small part of the big thing. You could be in IT or whatever, and probably not see the fruits of your work here. But here, even if you are entering in at a frontline level, a guest walking in with a family, and you see the state, and whether you arrange for a complimentary upgrade or you're very warm in welcoming them, it makes a huge difference. Because today, I think we've all experienced, whether it's airlines or some of the other industries as well, the service aspect is missing. But as Professor Foskett also spoke about, I think this is a brilliant industry that you can bring in so much of joy to people with whom you interact with. So I think, yes, the most important is that you should, enjoy being with people and people's company. And again, I think that is our natural DNA. So I think that's been shared as well by Professor Foskett. Some of the other things which we spoke about, I think Dr. Bose also spoke about, that the students who are coming into hotel industry are not necessarily only wanting to join this industry to stay in India, but be able to travel across the globe. So this is my 12th city that I'm working in, and 6th country. So apart from the countries which I mentioned, I've also worked in Canada. And so I think the adaptability aspect is very important, and I think it does sound very exciting, and obviously it is very rewarding as well. But when you first move in, it is very important as a associate going into a different country, that you absorb the culture and be very, very open-minded. I think that's important perspective there. And going into possibly the second thing, which is very important, is, and I think that's a success mantra for any job which you take over, is that you have to be very passionate and committed. Again, you could be possibly working in heart of the house eventually after doing your program, or you could be in front of the house as well. There would be many challenging situations and opportunities which will come your way. I remember this instance, and I think possibly a bit of my success is attributed to it, because my mother used to speak about this to me, that never go the easy route. So constantly, I first took over, I think my first job was when I was 19 years of age. And in 21 years of age, I moved over into Maldives. So I came from Dehradun, a small city, moving into Mumbai. That was a big change. From there, I moved over to Maldives, and I was working with about 32 nationalities on an island. That was a huge change. From there, I moved on to Boston, and America was a very, very different work culture and environment. That was a huge change. Moving from there to Bahamas, I opened the Four Seasons Resort there, which was in an uninhabited island. So we didn't have facilities there. It was very, very beautiful, but very challenging there. We had a first child. There to Canada to back to India. I worked for a short while in Bangalore. Then I was managing the Taj Exotica Maldives, where my dear friend Samrat is currently managing. Then to Falaknuma Palace Property. Then I moved on to healthcare hospitality and back in Pune. So I think adaptability, if your dream is to travel the world and be able to kind of grab opportunities as they come, I think adaptability is a very, very important aspect. And the third thing, which, obviously there are a lot of skills, but I think the third thing which is very important is having a very keen listening skill and being very detailed oriented. Because I'm sure, I think all of us, as we are getting into this field, the objective for all of us is to succeed and get to the best of the positions. For that, I think not taking shortcuts and doing that important thing is very important. I think Varun also mentioned initially, that that discipline which we speak about, it's not something which somebody else is looking at you and that's when you do the best. But it's, even if when nobody is looking at you and you're doing the right things, that builds your character, and that's what sets you apart from many million others.
Wow, amazing. And just wanted to ask you, Mr. Sehgal, where exactly were you born and raised? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I was born in Dehradun. I did my schooling there. Then post that, I did my hotel management from Dehradun, Mumbai, and did my master's from Switzerland.
Super. And why I ask this question is because I just wanted to let these kids know, and all the children and all the young budding professionals know, that no matter which part of the country you come from, it could be from Dehradun, Mussoorie, it could be from Nagpur, it could be from Coimbatore, it could be from Thiruvananthapuram, but you can travel all over the world. If you have the courage and the passion in you, you can travel all over the world like you did, and traveled and settled, and you've seen the entire world, by this time. And so I think that's exactly what the industry is all about. To sum it up, I mean, your career is hospitality industry in a lot of ways, because everybody's got this dream to do something in life, go around, travel the best of the places, meet the best of the places, and you've done that. I mean, all hoteliers have done that, and that's exactly that's exactly what we always tell all these budding professionals, that this is the only career where after graduation you get the license to work anywhere in the world, and that's the beauty about this career. And I think you summed it up superly well about these three attributes, Mr. Sehgal. It was
absolutely, Mr. Sehgal. This is Dr. Bose, and I'd like to thank you for joining us and for your time. And it was always a great delight. And of course, I would like to ask you something very personal. I mean, a lot of students from IIHM worked in Pune and elsewhere. You said about Falaknuma as well.
Absolutely.
So how do you see our students vis-a-vis. I'm not asking for a competitive thing. I'm just asking just like a very, very, for a lot of guys who are here, would like to listen from somebody as a seasoned hotelier like you.
You know, I actually have to go back a little before even I speak about the students. I think when I speak about the faculty and the leadership at every institute, I think that's where it makes a difference. We were proud hosts to a chapter of the Young Asiad, the Olympiad which you had as well, the Culinary Olympiad
Yes.
which you had as well.
Yes.
And I think that you know, that interaction with the leadership team it's brilliant. And you know, I interact with them very little, and they've had such a positive impact on us. And we partnered on many other such things as well. So having that leadership coach the young students, I'm sure it's going to be a brilliant output as well. We've had quite a few of the students from IIHM who are in management programs and others as well at our hotel. And you know, it's brilliant to see them doing so well. So we're very proud of our association with IIHM, and we look forward to facilitating this journey of the young talent coming into the you know, hospitality industry and helping them achieve their optimal potentials.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sehgal. It was a pleasure to have you. And moving over, we've got another smart, dashing personality with us, Mr. Gaurav Singh. He's multi-property vice president, Marriott International of East India. And, you know, he looks after all the hotels of Marriott hotels in East India, including Bangladesh, travels extensively, you know, to all these properties. He's a gold medalist, by the way, from Manipal, and his beloved wife Swati works with IIHM as an associate director in training and placements. And of course, he took a session in Professor David Foskett Auditorium at Global Campus in Calcutta, which is the talk of the town even today. The students talk about it, and they really follow him. Mr. Gaurav Singh, over to you.
Thank you, Abdullah. How are you doing?
Absolutely lovely, fine, rocking during this lockdown. Trust me, can't be better.
Such a pleasure to see you, Mr. Gaurav Singh, in your new beard, and you are looking even super dashing now.
Thank you, Dr. Bose.
I'm sure you are on your 23rd floor in Arbana as you were standing. I could see the rest of Calcutta from your side of the windows, and it's looking amazing.
Thank you so much. Pardon me for my look in these days. I guess I'm at home and on the weekend. I just thought it would be a great opportunity to have this conversation, but I did not give it the grooming that it would require to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're most welcome. And thanks for joining us. And thanks for the time.
Thank you for having me here.
So before Abdullah comes and asks you a question, I would like to really ask, I mean, there's so many aspirant and our student as well here. And of course, the student from Calcutta have seen you in your lecture, in orientation. So if you can just give us a little bit of what makes you so different from the others, the hotelier, like what makes Gaurav Singh what he is. Something in you that makes you so dashing. I know I've seen your best performance not in a hotel, but in the cricket. when you were leading the Marriott JW Marriott team, and I could see that even in the little bit of a fun-filled thing, your determination to win. I think that actually brings a lot and talks a lot about your character. So if you can tell to our young people a little bit about that.
Thank you, Dr. Bose. I'm actually not a cricketer. Honestly, I've hardly ever played cricket in my life. I enjoy golf, but I guess any sport is similar to the other. And to me, it's not about the sport that you're playing. It's more about the fact that you are competing. And I think you touched on that, and some of the earlier speakers have touched on it. That to compete today is something that drives an individual. To me, that has been an immense, a source of inspiration. To be able to be driven allows me to take the best out of me, and that attributes some part of what I do achieve in my everyday work.
Fantastic. Abdullah.
Super. All right. One question that I'd like to ask you on behalf of all the students here is that how can the youngsters listening to you aim to become a GM and steps they need to take to achieve things like you have done? What are the things they need to do to copy you, or rather become a photocopy of your success?
I don't know if that's a good thing. I would recommend them to have their own style and their own way of achieving success. I don't think I have achieved it. And in the words of Mr. Marriott, the organization that I proudly work for, he says that success is never final. And in fact, one of the other things that he says is that you're as good as yesterday. And therefore, one of the things that I'd ask for the aspiring students of tomorrow and the students who wish to join the IIHM is to be able to, never take success for granted. Always look to enhance your knowledge, enhance your skills, continue to drive your knowledge and skills. And the aspect of knowledge and skills is it doesn't end at just about acquiring it. It's about how you actually use that knowledge and skill in your day-to-day work to be able to do better than you did yesterday. I think one of the things that makes an individual achieve some sort of progression in their career, and I won't call it success alone, because I don't feel becoming a GM one is successful. I think you can do much more than that, and you can grow to higher levels than just be that. But I do believe that there are one or two attributes which I'm sure the other speakers have also spoken about, which are common to everyone. One is that you need to have immense passion in everything that you do, and passion drives the way that you will approach your work on a day-to-day basis. So passion and drive are two common things that I would look at in a very strong way, to be something that one needs to follow in being able to achieve some sort of progression. I do believe that with passion and drive also comes some attributes which others may have spoken of again as well, which is in the sense of the drive taking you towards a competitive nature, or having the drive achieve some sort of success in gaining more knowledge. But I do believe that every person has its own style. The style comes out from the upbringing that one has, the guidance that one has from their own parents and family, and virtues that they are taught in their childhood. But I think some of them need to remain, whether you're in hospitality or not, to be able to have honesty and integrity is one of the things that I have strongly believed in. And if you choose that path, it generally allows you to be able to choose almost the right thing every time. It may be harder, it may be more difficult to do that, but it is as simple as doing that. And I think one of the other things, while hospitality has a lot of flair and passion and maybe even an opportunity to interact with the world, so to speak, one of the things that remains in hospitality is that you must remain humble. And that, again, brings about one of those elements of a human being that allows you to function in a way where people relate to you honestly, and are able to share with you not just their good stories and happiness, but also their troubles and their areas of opportunity lying within for each one of them. So that's what I would really recommend. So if I sum it up, I would necessarily say that you need to have passion and be very passionate about what you do. You need to have a strong drive in everything that you're doing. Compete with a drive that allows you to have success, or at least do progression. Continue to gain knowledge and never let go of knowledge. But more than just gaining it, utilize the knowledge, and then thereon keep in mind at the back of your head that you need to remain honest throughout your journey, have integrity in everything that you do, and if humility is something that you can imbibe as part of your culture or as part of your DNA, then I think that would give you a very strong stepping stone to not only become a general manager in the hospitality industry, but also be able to grow further more than that. I think from what I have known of Dr. Bose, Abdullah, as well as the IIHM, and whatever little that I've had the opportunity to interact with the team there, as well as the institute, the sort of education and the upbringing that they are bringing to the students is something which is not just knowledge from the books or from the disciplines. It is an all-rounded opportunity to increase your own potential as an individual, not just in the hospitality field, but as a personality. And I think that brings about the possible persona in being able to deliver excellent hospitality in the years to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gaurav. And obviously, IIHM and Marriott do have a very special relationship, and more to come in the future. And where we
I look forward to that, Dr. Bose. In fact, that is something that in the given times is probably taking a little longer than we have thought, but I think we're looking forward.
Which is absolutely understandable. But then we are so fiercely proud to be associated with all the manner. And as Girish also said, I mean, we are working at different levels, and not just for playing cricket anyway. So, once again, lovely view of Calcutta, and over to you, Abdullah, to take it forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Bose.
Thank you.
Mr. Gaurav Singh, I mean, coming from you, all these words that you've done, guys, trust me, every word that he said is gold. He's so young and he's achieved it. He is, he's multi-property vice president Marriott International. He heads all the hotels of Marriott in east part of the country. He's so young, so dynamic, and that's why all of you should mark his words in gold and frame it and put it in your bedrooms for the next 10 years if you want to copy him. Thank you, Gaurav, for joining in all the way from Kolkata. And now what we'll do is we'll just moving over, we'll just skip a line a little bit. Mr. Atul Bhalla has to go in a meeting. He just requested if he could be taken in, and so what I'm going to do is I will Mr. Atul Bhalla now, who's the area manager West ITC Hotels. He handles all the hotels of ITC in the west part of the country, an absolutely dynamic personality, and he's going to come. And Mr. Bhalla, the question to you will be how to manage large hospitality operations like leading ITC hotels in West India. Your take on it, Mr. Bhalla.
Hi, Abdullah. Very nice to see you, Dr. Bose. So great to see you, and I'm a big fan of Dr. Bose for what he does for the hospitality industry, and I continuously keep telling him this. I never fail to mention that. And before I move on, also great to see my friends Samrat, Varun, Gaurav. Good to hear all of them. It's been fantastic to listen to them and their comments to the budding hospitality professionals, some of you sitting over there, finishing your 12th standard. And believe me, if you enjoy putting a smile on a stranger and at the same time have the patience to deal with their not so easy customers, I think this is the industry for you. You need to, you're the right, this will be your right choice if you entering that. Part of the question what you asked me with regards to my job, as I just moved over to the Western region. I used to be part of, I was neighbor to Gaurav in Calcutta, where we opened a very large hotel, ITC Royal Bengal. Now I moved into Western region, and I guess we straight away moved into this crisis, which is going to teach us absolutely a new normal, especially for the entire world. But hotel industry is going to go into a complete new normal, and that's what we all going to learn. And there's no other better time to get into this industry than this. Like Varun said, I noted that down. What Varun said, that by the time you guys, if you would have joined the industry, and by the time you come out, you will find an absolutely new standard. So you will be the first few people who will start working with this new normal. I have a set of hotels in Western India, which is ITC Luxury Collection as well as Welcome Hotels. There are 7 new hotels, and there are 3 in the pipeline, which is a pre-opening phase. It is a exciting part of my portfolio, and I'm looking forward to it. It's just that I've spent only a month, and the last month we have spent in the lockdown. So we have a large teams sitting at Mumbai 2 hotels. We have a hotel in Goa. We have a hotel in Ahmedabad, 2 hotels coming up. We have a hotel in Kimsur, hotel in Aurangabad, Vadodara. So this is what the business is all about. And the integral part of the business, most important, is the human capital. And keeping our associates engaged, even in this scenario where we are working, most of our hotels are suspended operations and some of them are open, but the very, very few people in the hotel who are maintaining the hotels, but there are large teams who are sitting at home and engaging with all our associates, keeping their well-being is the most important part, because that's the most important capital we have, our people. So whether it's in the form of meeting, whether in the form of communication to them, whether it's in the form of trainings, we've never seen this kind of training ever happening. So we have online platforms, we have unleashed the kind of platforms for every discipline of our associates, whichever areas they work in. We've created that. We have some generic courses. We're using the technology in a superb manner to making sure that each and every associate is engaged and he has a purpose, even if he's sitting at home. But he should make sure he should feel that there is a lot amount of inputs are being done, so that this is the time we are taking to sharpen our eggs, and then when it comes to go back to the new normal, and when we start working and when our business starts, he's ready to face that new challenge which is coming ahead of us. And then the only reason for being in this business is our customer. So being in touch of a customer is again it's a very important part. So being with them and talking to them continuously, being in touch with them is another thing what we're doing. So as of now, this is how our entire work is panning out, and that's what I'll do. Any other question you'd like to ask me?
Superb, superb. Thank you so much, Mr. Atul Bhalla, for sharing your insights. I think, again, as I said, coming insight from you is a blessing for all the students and all of us listening to you. It was absolute honor to listen to you, and thank you so very much for joining all the way from west part of the country.
Yes, Atul, thank you so much. I missed the earlier part, and it's lovely to see you back with a little new look, Atul Bhalla.
Yeah, I'm only looking at myself, no guest to look at.
But then, yeah, what you said is absolutely fantastic, absolutely correct. The customers are the king in our business, and Corona time or whatever, we need to keep in touch and keep the customer engaged. And I think that is a big message for all of us, actually, whether it's a hotel, hospitality, and a business. So we look forward for, as David Foskett said, that we survive so many things in the world survives so many things. I'm sure that this will also pass and will back again with our business.
Absolutely. This is only a phase, maybe a little longer phase. And when we come back, I'm sure, though everybody says that the hotel industry and travel industry is the first to go out and last to come in, but let's see what the new normal is going to be. We all need to work towards and make sure that we come back much faster than the entire world is going to come back, at least in India. And India it's, on its own has a phenomenal market by itself. So that's the strength of India. The domestic market is so huge. We should be able to come back much, much faster than the entire world.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you for speaking to us. And it's such a joy to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bhalla. All right, guys, moving forward quickly, we've got Mr. Shekhar Mukherjee, General Manager, Taj Air Catering, who's going to talk about, of course, Mr. Mukherjee, it's all about safety food and tasty food. Well, he's the General Manager for Taj Air Catering, TajSats, and the question to you will be opportunities in flight catering world across the globe. Mr. Shekhar Mukherjee.
Am I can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
First and the foremost thing that I must say that I think students who are listening to today's webinar, which used to be a seminar till last few years back, and that showed how International Institute of Hotel Management just quickly, in a matter of a second, changed their strategy and made thousands of students, listen to Dr. Bose, Mr. Abdullah, and of course the dons of the industry today. First and the foremost that I must say to the students, because before me, all the dons of the industries, Mr. Atul Bhalla, my friend Mr. Samrat Datta, and everybody talked about the industry today, yesterday, and tomorrow. The first thing that I thought I must tell the students, Mr. Abdullah, is whilst this year in 2020, the average age of Japan is going to be 47, that of Europe is 46, the average age of China 40 plus, US 40, the average age of India stands at 29. And when I say this, you can well understand that how Indian people will be looked for by almost every industry, leave alone the hospitality industry, the domain of which is so very varied, starting from a hospital to a pub. I'm not even talking about the hotels and restaurants at all. You talk about the cruise liner, you talk about so many new things. And of course, as everyone said that tomorrow is the new normal, I would like to in short, I would like to touch that point. You know, in 1974, when I was in the school, I must tell you that I am 35 years working with the Taj. So 35 years in the industry. In 74, 75, a postcard from Bihar used to take 7 days to come to Calcutta. Fast forward, you would have STD call, you would have lightning calls those days. Of course, lightning used to be a little delayed, so it used to take about 20 minutes. We moved over from a postcard era to STD to a lightning call, and today everything at the snap of a finger, to the extent that you, Dr. Bose, and everybody is talking to 900 plus people all together. This change must be taken also as a new. Now, whilst everything is going to change, I must also talk a few things about IIHM, mainly because of two reasons. One is, you know, that I am associated with International Institute in two ways. One, when I came into Calcutta, Dr. Bose used to call me from time to time to go and speak to the students. And of course, number two, my own son. My son is in the third year. He's in the final year of International Institute of Hotel Management. Things have changed for good, of course. Things have changed because most of the time I see the students nowadays are very industry oriented. There used to be a time when we used to talk about learning about wines, learning about pairing food with wine. But now people talk about how you should do a revenue analysis, which gave birth to the revenue management today in the hotel industry. So things have changed from time to time, and it is yet evolving. So is the hospitality industry. I heard Dr. Foskett talking a fantastic thing that we will bounce back. And India is the one where hospitality is inculcated on its own. As we said, Atithi Devo Bhava, guest is God. And I think this is one industry where every time we are telling the students, telling our people how to take care of the God, that's our guest. One thing I must at this point talk about is what the students must look for. It's a difficult word. It's called prospective hindsight. Now, I'm sure people will get confused because the word prospective is associated with future, potential, forthcoming, likely, soon to be, eventual, approaching. And hindsight is possibly retrospection, reflection, recall, remember, perception, observation. A hotelier or a hospitality professional must be an ace in this, that they must be prospective. They must have a prospective hindsight, that they should be able to apprehend what if questions. And with little bit of common sense, if they proceed ahead, the world is theirs. As you know, that I said that it has already been proved that India is going to be the youngest country in the entire world. The students who are listening today, to you, to Dr. Bose, and to everybody, all my friends with the hospitality industry, must understand that tomorrow is a bright day for sure. And none other but you and Dr. Bose, the way you started a new webinar system, I think that says it all. There are a few things which I also thought that I'll share with the students. Not much of knowledge, but a few things are very, very important that you must be ready to learn. If you have the attitude of being a student all through the life, that's the best attitude to have. If you have the right attitude, if you are eager to learn, work ethics is very, very, very important today, because in a hurry to go to the top, we must never, ever sacrifice some of the work ethics. There used to be a time, and of course, IIHM does that, everything is inclusive. So if we join together, that's what is done in fact, in the International Institute of Hotel Management, that if you go to the first year syllabus, you will find that everything is being done individually. You go to second and third year, they make a team and then they give a project to do. So they are actually making the students industry ready, so that when you go and play in a team in a hotel or any other industry for sure, where you are not doing the thing alone, but you are doing each and everything with a group of people, it then becomes easier for you because you have been doing it for the past 3 years. And as I said, that in International Institute of Hotel Management, the opportunity that you get is you go and study in the institute, and you have, of course, in Kolkata, you have a hotel attached in the Smart Hotel. So you go and immediately practice all those things which you have learned in the hotel. I think this is fantastic. The domain of hospitality industry being so high, so big, one can easily go. Coming back to your question of flight catering, I must at this point say that when everybody said about the new normal of tomorrow is going to be safety, I think all of us are aware that flight kitchen is generally considered as the benchmark in food safety. When I say benchmark in food safety, that's because various processes are not only maintained, not only done, followed every time, but also are written down for a future audit. As a result of which, safety food becomes the new normal for tomorrow. And I think flight kitchens have been doing this over a period of time. Not only flight kitchen, of course, every food industry has been doing, but specifically for the flight kitchens, I think flight kitchens are diversifying into different catering, outdoor catering and institutional catering. That would be the order of tomorrow. Yeah.
Super. Thank you so much, Mr. Shekhar Mukherjee. It was an absolute lovely explanation of where flights, flight catering is heading to. Thank you so much for joining in all the way from Calcutta. Moving over, we move to Mr. Manish Gupta, who's the Area Director East and General Manager of Taj Bengal. He comes with so much of experience, and we would like to hear from him. Mr. Manish Gupta.
Hi, everybody.
Yes,
very good evening to everybody.
Welcome. And the question to you, Mr. Gupta, is how is career in hotels different from a typical 9-to-5 job, which can sometimes become boring? And there's no one else better than you to answer this, trust me.
Well, hotels offer a very exciting work environment. So, as they say in our trade, there is never a dull day in our life. So, it's a very happening field. So, every day there is something or the other which keeps you on your toes. There are exciting moments, there are tense moments, there are challenging moments, and also there are a lot of fun moments. So, it's a very, very creative line which keeps you on your toes all the time.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, was I audible?
Yeah. Mr. Gupta, good afternoon. This is Suborno. Lovely to see you. I'm good. You are looking good. I saw you on fantastic picture where you are in your shorts and looking fine and fit. So I'm sure you're keeping yourself fit.
Yeah, difficult time. So the least we can do is to do some walks in the morning or evening.
Absolutely.
Stay a little fit. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So I've got a question for you for all these people who are want to join hospitality as a career, and also some of the students as well. I mean, from your experience, from your journey up there, I mean, what you tell them one reason which actually is like a mantra for them, which made you what you are. So one great reason to join the career in hospitality, whether it's in hotel or hospitality, or whether it's in hospital, healthcare, everywhere.
Well, if you are a kind of person who loves to enjoy life, who loves to interact with people, who loves to do new things all the time, who don't, somebody who doesn't mind spending long hours. If you like meeting people, if you like greeting people, if you like to meet celebrities, if you like working really hard, then I think this is the line for you. So this is how I would rather sum it up, rather than asking for traits from any one of you. I think all the traits what we talk about in the industry can come in. People can learn, people can develop all these traits. But as I said, if you have all these qualities, or if you like doing all those above things what I just said, then hospitality or hotels is the line for you.
So could you also tell our audience something little different? What has been the most memorable time for you in your career in the industry? Some incident which you can't forget. It's something like always stuck on your mind, like, oh, that was a day.
Well, there are endless moments like that. But Dr. Bose, very honestly, all these years, or about 24 years to be precise, I have just put my head down and kept working. So really, honestly speaking, I won't be able to tell you one of that moment or this moment. All these years, we've just concentrated on the job. What is the job ahead of us? Whether it was 26/11 kind of an incident, or whether it was, I still remember 9/11 when the first plane barged into the World Trade Towers in New York City. I still remember all these incidents. I have been at work, and I remember what happened then. So all these days, all these incidents have been having some memories, some very good ones, some really not so good ones. But only one mantra that we have just kept working. We made sure, and including the current situation also right now, that we've just made sure that we keep working, we make our hotels running, and we make our guests and employees being taken care of. So this is how I would describe all these years journey for me.
And I would personally like to thank you, the Taj Group. Obviously, we have got Samrat as well and Shekhar for a huge support from the Tatas and the Taj Group for at this time. It's really, really commendable. Salute to the Tata Group for their absolutely selfless support. I mean, it's really, really great. Hugely appreciate that. Everybody, every Indian really is with you, I must say.
Thank you, Dr. Bose. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish, and thanks for your time for joining us. And we really enjoyed your comments. And over to you, Abdullah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I wish all the luck to all these young kids.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manish Gupta, joining in all the way from Calcutta. And coming over, joining from London, we've got Chef John Wood. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've heard about this name called Burj Al Arab Dubai, which is one of the most beautiful and iconic hotels. Trust me, Chef John Wood was an executive chef of this hotel some years back, and now he's running a very, very, very successful business in UK, in London. He's the CEO of Kitchen Cut in UK. Very dear friend, very humble, very, very, smart, I would say. And the question to you, Chef John Wood, is that how will technology impact hospitality and the culinary industry? And with this question, we welcome you to this forum all the way from London, United Kingdom.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you. First of all, Abdullah, Dr. Bose, thank you very much. It's great to see you. Unfortunately, not in person, but through technology, we can meet up again, and hopefully we do more of this. And first of all, I wanted to say how proud and honoured I am to be associated with IIHM, YCO, and all what you do. And it is a great honour to be part of that, and I'm pleased to stand up and say working with you is an absolute pleasure, and thank you for everything. And the last 4 years YCO has just been superb. I've had the opportunity to present to students in Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore and Pune over the years, and it's been an absolute pleasure, and you should be very, very proud, and the students should be very, very honoured as well to be part of your education platform and what you're doing as well. You should all be very proud.
Thank you so much, John. It's a great privilege to have you with us as well. And we are so happy to have you, because we know that these are difficult times, but it's great to have you with us at a time when things are not great. And so thanks very much for joining us. And as you said, we'll connect more often on this webinar platform.
That's great. No, always a pleasure. And I think I've said to you on many occasions, Dr. Bose, that the answer is yes. Now, what's the question? So I'm always happy to help you guys and do anything for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Abdullah, in answer to your question about technology, yes, to sort of go back to that. So really, the technology has changed hugely. I mean, 37 years as a chef, twice 1-star Michelin, as you mentioned, executive chef of the Burj Al Arab, of which, of the 500 chefs I had working with me, I would say probably about 350 of those were from India, because you're the best chefs. I love having Indian chefs, and just the commitment and dedication to that was brilliant. So talking about technology and conscious of sort of time, modern kitchens and restaurants, need to embrace technology. It is the future of what's happening. And if you don't, you're going to be sort of left behind. And whether that's technology in cooking, and whether that's using modern equipment and using technology in that respect, or whether it's through using technology to manage some of those administrational and daily tasks that chefs and managers and food and beverage directors need to carry out. Taking technology and using that in operations is absolutely essential, and it is the future. And what we need to do is think about how we can use technology not to overtake some of the jobs that we're doing, but just enhance how we're doing those tasks and those jobs as well. And when we're talking about technology, it's not always just the back of house technology. There's modern technology that's happening front of house in hotels. There's booking systems, there's a concierge system. I mean, when I was at the Four Seasons, when I stayed there, you could order everything through the iPad when you went into the rooms, which is incredible. I ordered an ironing board, I placed my in-room order, I asked some questions of a concierge, I checked the reservation in the restaurant, and having that technology as part of hotels is the future. And with students that are coming into the industry and looking at that, it is an integral part of what you do and what you learn. Using technology is essentially important to to understand that, whether you're going to be a chef in a kitchen and using technology for cooking processes or managing those administrative tasks, or whether you're going to be working front of house or housekeeping or whatever it is, technology is going to be a major part of what you do in your career. So it is really important, and there's a lot of systems that are coming out there. We're just one of those suppliers of a system, which is Kitchen Cut, which you mentioned. And we look after all the food and beverage elements of this. So it is really important to understand the importance of technology, embracing it, understanding how it can really benefit you as a business, but also understanding how it can benefit you as a student. And students need to think about how they can use technology, start to understand that. So when they enter into hospitality, they are at the forefront of this and actually understand why it's important to have technology and why they can work with it. Because they will be exposed to it, whether they go to Four Seasons or Taj or Oberoi or any hotels globally, you will be exposed to it. It is absolutely essential that you start to think about this now.
So I would also like to ask you, Kitchen Cut is an amazing product, and we have used in the Young Chef Olympiad in the last 2 years. And this year it was used more extensively than last year. So if you can just touch on the advantage of using Kitchen Cut for a benefit of our students in brief.
Yeah, so what we try to do is, as a chef and operator for 37 years, I had 11 of my own restaurants as well. So I know all the extent of either running multifaceted hotels with 37 outlets I had in Dubai, and 500 chefs, 1,200 front of house staff. So big operations, and also running my own businesses. What Kitchen Cut does is it provides a piece of technology that helps you deal with those daily administrative tasks, like recipe costing. Allergen management is becoming huge globally, and be able to manage that correctly and manage it safely as well as part of that. Looking at nutritional data is hugely important. We've talked about that a lot at YCO, and the importance of managing that and looking at nutrition, eating healthy as well as part of that. We also look at waste management. So again, an integral part of what sustainability is about is looking at reducing food waste. And so all of these things we do inside Kitchen Cut. We manage stock control, even purchasing, and all we're trying to do is help managers and businesses and chefs do what they do normally, but just do it far more efficiently, far more effectively, and with an intuitive platform, so they can actually get back to doing the exciting things like creating food and looking after customers and providing that level of hospitality that David Foskett was talking about earlier on. Is about doing those things which are really, really important, and applying those personal touches. And a lot of people think technology is going to remove the touch and the feel that we give in hospitality. Actually, I think it's going to do the opposite. I think it's going to enhance that. It's allowing some of those tasks that managers and chefs have to do, which ties them into their office, and they can't go out and look after customers and make great food. So they're tied into kitchens, too much. But technology would allow them to come out, and actually that then enhances the whole hospitality experience.
All right, that's great, John. And again, it's such a pleasure to see you from London, and thank you so much for joining us. And what you said would be absolutely magical words for the aspirant of the students who want to join IIHM and hospitality as their career. So obviously we will move on to with Abdullah, but then John, we will be in touch, and very soon we'll be again on a separate video conferencing.
Thank you very much, both of you. Thank
you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining in all the way from London. Moving over to Mr. Kush Kapoor, CEO of Roseate Hotels and Resorts. He is a man who's been changing the dynamics of hospitality industry, ladies and gentlemen. He started with, one hotel, Roseate House, here in New Delhi at Aero City, and now the hotels are expanding all over. It's Delhi. We've got 2 hotels. We've got one in Rishikesh. We've got hotels coming up in Goa. We've got one operating in London, and so many other in operations. And Mr. Kush Kapoor, a man who's changed the operation dynamics altogether. You go into his hotel and you will not find an office for all the people. They all work from different places. They work through their mobiles, and that's the latest style of operation. And he's always interacting with the guests. And Mr. Kapoor, the question today is, that success in today's times is often said exceeding guest expectations. How do you define that, Mr. Kapoor? And welcome to this conversation today on the webinar on careers in hospitality. Mr. Kapoor.
Thanks, Abdullah, and thanks, Dr. Bose. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you. And such a pleasure to see you. Such a pleasure to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'll answer Abdullah's question. Hospitality for me actually starts from my home. Whatever I do at my home is all I need to do in my hotels. The way we take care of our family members at home is the same thing we take care of our guests in the hotels. And I speak to a lot of my people, and most of them have started agreeing actually right now. For me, the hotel industry, hotel job is the most easiest job in the world. I've been in the industry for almost 2 decades now. Whatever I do for my family members at home, if I'm able to do the same thing with the passion in the hotel, I don't take it as a job. Plus, I get paid for that in the hotel, which I don't get paid for that at my home on that part. So I take it in that manner, actually. When I talk about exceeding the guest expectations, I'll have a few of the examples which I would like to put it across to everybody so that our young generation, which are the future hotel managers and the general managers of our country and probably abroad also. I'll start the journey for anybody. Suppose I made a reservation in a particular hotel. Suppose from Delhi, I'm going to Bombay and I'm going to one of the hotels in Bombay and I'm staying out there. How do you feel when you talk about exceeding expectations? In the morning when I'm out to fly, I get a call from the general manager that, Push, here is the general manager. I just wanted to welcome you and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my hotel. I would have never experienced that thing in my entire life. So for me, that's the first thing which exceeds my expectation, that I've not even checked in the hotel and I've got a call from a general manager. Imagine I've reached Bombay airport and I've got the hotel car, and somehow they found out that I like Diet Coke. I just drinking Diet Coke. And instead of a normal water or anything in the car, they fill the car with Diet Coke. That's the second thing which strikes my mind. How do they know so much about me? I've reached the hotel and there's one general manager or some senior manager who receives me in the lobby, takes me to the room, talks me about the room, explains me the feature. But the most interesting part is once everybody has gone and I'm trying to figure it out, settle down in the room, and I see a nice welcome letter, which is written out there. And the welcome letter has the hotel logo and it has the logo of my company on the welcome letter. So, that's the personal touch.
Oh, wow.
In the evening, once I come back from my office, I went out for a meeting and I've come back to the office, from the office to my hotel room. And I see a nice small pastry. It is as small as possible. But again, the logo of my company is on that pastry. They've figured it out maybe through my EA or my secretary. As an example, they put the picture or a photo frame of my wife or daughter in the room. So that's what I talk about, exceeding the guest expectations. And we are all in the same industry, trying to do whatever best we can. I guess that's the only thing which we look out for.
That's very interesting, actually. I mean, because we always try to give the guest more than the guest looks for expectation, and also when we are guests, like you said, it's really amazing how, as an hotelier, you exceed the guest experience and guest expectation and go forward. I would like to ask Kush, if you so many students are there right now, even in on the Saturday evening, we have got around 250 people listening, and they are there for last 2 hours, which is very, very, in fact,
Right.
today's kids
True,
for 2 hours sticking around is something we can't really see every day. So if you can tell a little bit about your way of telling them what they should do, how they should make themselves ready for this career in the industry, which, to be honest, at times can be demanding, but then at the same time can be quite lucrative also at the same time, very productive, very enchanting. So if you through your eyes, through your journey, if you can tell them.
Sure. So Dr. Bose, I'll just sum it up in, I would say 4 alphabets, which is called as, I take it as TIPS, which is TIPS. T stands for me is transparent. Any company, any industry, anywhere in the world you're working, you need to be 100% transparent with your people, with your owner, with your guests. You've done a mistake, own that. We all need to understand in a hotel industry, we are human beings and we are serving human beings. Everybody is bound to make mistakes. So if you've made a mistake, please own that mistake. And the earlier you do, you make bigger and better relationships with your guests in future. So that's T stands for transparency. I stands for me is innovation. We all talk about yesterday is gone. I just need to make sure whatever I did yesterday, I need to take one step ahead of that. I need to learn from my mistakes. Whatever awards, everything what I got yesterday, it's gone for me. Now I need to move forward. I need to innovate for my people, for my guests, and for everybody in the industry. P for me stands for two things. One is the passion, without which there's hardly anything which moves in the world. And second is the personalization, which I just talked about from a guest expectations point of view. And the last for me is tips. When I talk about keep it, S stands for me is simple. Keep it as simple as possible you can. That's all. Thank you.
That's been excellent acronym tips because that explains that 4 attribute which everybody must have to succeed as a hotelier. And thank you very much, Kush Kapoor, for being with us.
Thank you, Dr.
It's a pleasure and honor to have you, and look forward to see you in not too distant future in person in Delhi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Over to you, Abdullah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kapoor, for joining in and sharing the insight and the lovely words that you just shared to the student. I think it was very insightful. Thank you so very much for joining in.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody for joining in. And before we close the day, I think I'll move back to Dr. Bose, who's the Chairman and Chief Mentor of IIHM, to share the parting words for Saturday night. Saturday is party time, Dr. Bose, and we're all ready to gear up, party at home, possibly put on some music, have a little bit of disco at home. So before we do that, parting words from you.
No, thank you very much, all the speakers, for excellent Saturday afternoon. I think it's an excellent webinar. And as I was telling to Mr. Kush Kapoor that we started almost at 3:45 testing, and now it's almost over, just over 2 hours now, and we have got still about 250 people still with us, and which is amazing by today's standard, where people just go away after 20 minutes. So it must have been absolutely enthralling for all of us, and for me personally, it's such a pleasure to meet all my friends up there after so many days and so many months, and to some extent to so many years. And a special thanks to David Foskett and John Wood, who actually skipped their lunch almost. It's lunchtime in London, and joined us Saturday lunch. But then it's such a great pleasure to have all of us, all participants with us for the last 2 hours. So I think we have got such a great panel of the hoteliers and a chef who spoke to you. And any questions, any chat, and we are always open. Write to us, and if you want to have a question to any one of the panelists, you can write to us, and we'll pass on to him, and then possibly expect an answer for him. But then that's not now, but you can always write to us. And so thanks the participant, and thanks Abdullah for being once again such a fantastic host. Thank you very much, Abdullah. Job well done once again. And thank you, and have a great evening, everybody, and a great weekend. Thank you very much. Signing off from my Calcutta office.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining in. This was IIHM Career Studio that you were tuned in today, Saturday evening, and we would, we wish you all the very best. Enjoy your Saturday. Love your parents. Wash your hands. Maintain social distancing. Listen to government advisories. Be home. Stay safe. And remember, we are the first college in the country to convert our hospitality admission test into online for the safety of yours, for your safety, because we believe that your dreams cannot be postponed. As I said in the beginning, a lot of colleges have postponed the examinations, but we have preponed it because we believe that your dreams, your vision, your passion cannot be postponed. And that is the reason we are going ahead with online admission tests. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your Saturday. Have some chai pakoda now. It's good time to have some tea and some coffee in the evening, and enjoy your Saturday. Watch some movie. Tomorrow is Sunday, and enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Love your parents. Bye-bye and take care. We can all sign out now. Thank you for tuning in to IIHM Career Factory. Thank you, everybody.